everybody, and welcome to today's From Boxes to Butterflies, a chance to talk about change, really, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today in today's, because of my special guest. Before I get into things, though, I want to start off with a couple of announcements, couple of things. I want to talk a little bit about this amazing sister who's going through some issues, and I got her approval to give a little bit of an update, because how many of us have friends, have family members who have gone through, there's a medical emergency, and that's what they've done. They went through something that happened back in January. It hasn't cleared up. In fact, there was another issue recently. Our family, our community, we got people who need help, who, and it's not through any fault of their own. It's just, this is what happens. And this amazing sister, anything that I can do for her, I want to do. But I also want this to be understood that for whoever you know, think about who's in your life. Maybe you were there for the first few weeks, and then, life got in the way. Go back, double check with them, see how they're doing. And then, I know this is me putting up my own publicity, but really, this is also me saying, I have this amazing sister who really is the publicity queen, the publicity maven. Publicity is so important for us to get our name out there, to get our brand out there. And when you've got somebody like Constance LEYLAND in your corner, it's an opportunity to get your name out there and not just throw it out. When she helps, she is focused on understanding you, understanding what makes you tick, and making sure that you're ready. You're at the point where the publicity is going to make a difference. Because here's the thing, I know some people will say, even like in LinkedIn, you get negative comments. Well, bad publicity is still good publicity, kind of deal. But this kind, when you're in the paper, when you're in an article, you're in press release, this is when you want awesome comments, writing. That's something she does. And she has access to hundreds of premium magazines. So if you are looking for publicity, she's the person to talk to. I also put my books up because I'm an author, and I have now had 8 books since last July. With the next one is coming up. So when it comes to writing, this is an area that I really haven't a grasp on. I have 3 solo books. I have 5 anthologies, which is where you write a chapter. And I've been involved with the publication of 2 anthologies already, with a 3rd one coming up. And this is what we're going to talk about. So here is the next anthology. It begins on the 1st of May. If you know somebody that is ready to write their story, because that's what an anthology is. It's taking your story, putting it out there, because somebody out there is waiting to read it. Somebody out there is in the same position that you were when you moved from those boxes, from whatever it was that was holding you back, to discovering yourself, and then breaking loose as your authentic self in the world. And this is something that we are going to talk a little bit more about if she's ready to talk. and I think she's ready. Now you just have to unmute.
I'm like, sorry, I'm ready. I was busy trying to post it on Hounds of Business. I'm like, guys, we gotta do this. Yeah, thank you so much. Hey, Leanne.
I know Leanne's here. Leanne was in the book with us in Legacy.
Yeah,
So
a note
that
to my
was
family.
a note to my family.
April, what's up? April, actually, listen, you have really good energy. I know you haven't talked to my sister Susanna, but I know she'll love you. You are going to be an amazing contributor, an amazing part of our community. She has good vibes, and that's the only thing I need to say. Like really good vibes. Is my next up. I'm an author, podcaster, and ghostwriter. Awesome, join us. We welcome
Exactly.
everyone.
And that's what we love. We love everyone. And hey, if you could just add your name, we'd love to know who you are, because LinkedIn just calls you a user and we like to know names.
You mean to tell me you don't have visual in there? Ah.
No, not today.
Not today, not today. Sister, what do you want to talk about?
We have this little project that is underway. And the fun thing is, when we do projects, we don't do small at
Mm-mm.
all.
Remember, my mantra is go big or go home. Like literally, if you don't go big, go home. Bring it, bring
Exactly.
it, bring it. That's all I have to say.
Well, and that's what we're doing with this one. I mean,
Yep.
we've already done two anthologies, and the last one, it was just the two of us, and look what happened. There we go. Lynn,
Lynn.
awesome.
No,
Yes.
so we're gonna create a group for the new anthology because every anthology we put a group.
Mm-hmm.
So DM Susanna or myself, DM
Yep.
Susanna, and then Susanna will create the group for the next anthology as soon as we get everything squared away.
Right.
We love our community, so we're giving you guys a chance to come in for free as well. Um, one way you can do is get 4 friends in, and you can be in free. Another
Yep.
thing is we're giving you guys a chance to post a 60-second video, whether you put it on
Yes.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We prefer LinkedIn, just FYI. If you could do a 60-second video on LinkedIn, like a summary of what your story is going to be in the chapter. And don't worry, we're fluid, we're flexible. Like meaning, even if you say this, and then later on in the chapter or in the anthology, in the middle of it, and you're like, CJ, this is not gonna work for me. I want to change. It's okay. We're
Exactly.
okay with that. Yeah.
We love
So
it.
60 seconds of your story, what your story moving beyond boxes, and we're gonna talk about what that means too. And maybe 1 or 2 points of how you're helping other people in our community, right? Even though I'm not part of your community, I'm saying our community because we live in one world. Okay, last time I checked. So, in our community and how you're actually helping others. We're all about helping others. We're all about collaboration over competition. So, that's what we're running in as well. We also do a giveaway on Sunday show.
Yep.
So, if you come into our, Susanna and I are on my TV show on E360 TV. It's on Roku, Amazon Fire, all that. You can come in on Sunday and we do the giveaway at the end.
It's live on Sundays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern. So you have to be there live too, because you've got to be during the show. That's how things get picked.
Because you actually have to interact and message. I did have a question or a couple questions from people that I approach. Um, what is moving beyond boxes? Like, how am I supposed to write this? What is that theme all about? So I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on moving beyond boxes? What are some of the theme that comes up for you?
So moving beyond boxes, it begins with understanding what the box is. To me, it's this place that we get stuck or we get labeled. It could be a stigma where somebody finds out a piece of us and they stick us in the box and say, this is what you are. This is how I'm going to treat you. Whether it's neurodiversity, I mean, the myriad of choices. To be able to move beyond that box requires an awareness of what the box is, that you can take back control, and then it becomes another way to put it, it becomes a journey of reinvention of some type, because you are moving from a place of being stuck to a place that once you get out of that box, really what's happening is it's your authentic self that is standing in the world and glowing and shining and moving forward. That's why I say move beyond boxes and shine. And you see the butterflies everywhere, you see the boxes everywhere, and shine. Shine is be your authentic self, who you were created to be. When we're in that box, other people, our fear, ourselves, we're the ones holding us back. When you move beyond the box, that's a sense of freedom. Or what I like, another way analogy that I like is the butterfly. Getting stuck in that box is kind of like being in the cocoon. If nothing is happening, then you're just stuck in a box. You're not going anywhere. But when you have that awareness, when you're able to step up and start making those changes, that's like the transformation within that cocoon of going from the caterpillar to emerging as the authentic self, as the butterfly, and then knowing that once you're out and you're free, just like a butterfly, you can't go back into the cocoon. You don't go back into the box. Instead, you keep moving forward, shining and doing the next thing and the next thing and just fly.
I love that. I love what April said too. And Lynn. So here's what I told someone who asked me. I try to keep it simple, but I just have a lot going on in my head. Okay. So I use 3 quotes, and I'm going to use the first quote. It says, the true journey of discovery lies not in finding new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Step beyond your boxes and see the world anew. Right? The second quote I'm going to talk is, boxes are for things, not for people. Don't confine your spirit within the walls of fear and familiarity. Break free and explore the infinite possibilities. And the last quote, growth and comfort do not coexist. To move beyond boxes you've built around yourself is to embrace growth, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel. So those are 3 quotes. Now, the ideas that I gave some of the people I was talking to was personal transformation. So think back in your own life. You've got too many going on with that personal transformation. But think back in your life where you're living your journey in life every day like routine. You get up, you do meditation, maybe you drink water, maybe you drink coffee. It's predictable, right? Life to embrace like you have to be spontaneous and live in uncertainty. And to be honest with you, life is uncertain. Do you know if you're going to wake up tomorrow when you sleep? You don't, right? This include personal stories of maybe leaving a long-term job. I know so many people left their job, and so many people maybe got let go during COVID, and now they're pursuing their passion of helping others, becoming a coach, becoming a writer, a ghostwriter, right? Are going back to school, learning certification, moving to a new country, learning a new language. Ollie is not here, but I know that he loves languages, and Noni's here, right?
Yep.
Breaking the social norms that my sister was talking about. Explore your challenges, the expectation that society has to put you in a box and you believe in it for a long time. And then you're like, One day you're like, wait, why am I doing this again? I'm not happy. I want to do something else, right? Those family to tell you, hey, these are the tradition, these are the culture, you follow it. And one point in your life, you're like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm going to
Yep.
defy it. I'm going to just do whatever I want, right? We're moving that expectations. And then, of course, your cultural exploration, right? Immersing oneself in a completely different culture. I can attest to that because I am living in the gray zone. I'm Chinese Filipino, but I'm also American. Yeah, that could have issues on its own. So those are some of the ideas moving beyond boxes. Do you have anything to add to that, sister?
Well, I look at it as when we're stuck in that box and we know we're stuck, we know that we need to make a change. We know something has to happen. You had your quotes. One of my quotes that I love to use is, while knowing is half, when knowing is half the battle, awareness is the first step. So we can know that we should do something or not do something. And we're still stay stuck in that place because nothing changes. But when you have that awareness, it gets ignited. You're ready to start seeing what's going on. You see where you are. You see where you want to go. And maybe you don't know the path and stuff to get there. But once you're aware that you can take back control, you can take control and move beyond that box, then that's when everything starts to shift. And then the other word that I said it before is reinvention, because we're always reinventing things, whether it's going back to school, whether it's getting married, having kids, getting divorced. This is all reinvention, moving across town, across state, across country, around the world. All different types of reinvention, from small things that don't seem like they're significant at all to big things that it's a total life changer, which I know that one well.
Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, that's really the topic of, moving beyond boxes is we're not going to tell you what your story is going to be. Instead, we're going to help you. Another thing that I want to talk about are two things. First is the editing portion, and then second is marketing. Third is distribution. So, which one do you want to tackle first?
Editing, because
Okay.
that's really, the editing is how we work with the authors. Because how many times do we have authors come in and they're nervous about it? I mean, you get the questions. Some of them, they've never written the concept, the idea of 1,500 words, much less 3,000 words, has them a little nervous. They're like, should I, can I, will I? And then once they work with us, some of them, they kind of went over that 3,000, but they had like, bring it back a little bit, come back a little bit. But with the editing, part of that is our unique way of working with each author, not saying, okay, here's a topic and go. We get to know everybody first. We have everybody together as a team. They write, then you and I start editing, look through it. We make sure that we never change the voice. But if we see things that might make it better, ideas, we ask questions, might change a couple of things, but it's always done in a manner that they can go back to the original if they want. It's their story. That's the most important thing with us. And what I saw in some of those chapters that we had in the last book, from what I read, the first chapter to what ended up getting printed, were so different and so incredible.
Life changing for some. Most of these people that are brand new authors is nervous, right? Because in their head they're like, "Oh my god, this is such a big task. I don't know what to write. I just want to," because everyone wants to do well. Okay. Here's the thing with us. We work as a group, and we mean we work as a group. This
Yep.
anthology is not about Susanna and I. This anthology is about the project. It is about our community and how we are leveling up through education, through your own experiences. On top of that is creating a legacy. Think about all the greats that you've read. How did you know about them? Because you've read about them. 100 years from now, your great great grandkids would be reading about, wow, how amazing was my grandma Noni? April, Lynn, wow, they did that? I didn't know that. And then they get through live your life a little bit and said, "Hey guys, I went through this adversity. I was put into this box, but finally, at this point of my life, if you want to mention age, it doesn't matter to us. I moved beyond this box. This is
Mhm.
my life journey. Join me. 100 years from now, that will stay, right?" And so, yeah, editing for us, it's not about you or me. It's about the project. We want to make sure that your voice stays, but also cohesive with everybody else. That's what the amazing part is. So Santa and I, it's not our first rodeo.
No.
We've belonged to so many anthologies. We have taken and extrapolated the bad and the goods, and we try. Okay, the keyword is try. We try to inject those things that we didn't like, eliminate it, inject those things that we like, and then expand on it. And that's what we did for editing,
And
right?
like how many of our authors they came in like Noni's like she knows what she wants to write, but she gets nervous. We try to take the nervous piece out of the equation. You write, you put your story down. When we read it, it's like picking up somebody's baby. We are not going to tear it apart or anything.
Tossed
Everything
it
we do,
around.
yeah, I mean, everything we do is to do everything we can to nurture it, nurture the authors, and by the time they're done, to have the confidence and to feel how much they've grown just in that one book and how many people after they do the first one they're like, I want to do another one. I want to do another one. And they want to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So Noni, we got you. We got you. Hey. Oh my gosh, it's been a hot minute. Leanna was in our hey, fashionably
Rattle,
late is better than not showing up. Okay, so
exactly.
we'll take that. Rattled Awake. Weren't
Rattle
she in our
away.
Rattled Awake? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we want.
Yes. Thank you for being here. So let's talk about distribution, sister.
Distribution. Where's the book going and what's going to happen? Because right now, the first thing is once we've got it together, and this is all part of what we do because you and I then sit down and compile it, put it together. And the first place it goes is to Amazon. And when it comes out, we get it in Amazon on a Kindle, and suddenly you go from not being a published author to being a published author because there it is. And then shortly after that, we take everything through the process to create a book. And so we'll have the book version on Amazon. But how much more do you want to do?
Depends. So I found out, technically, we found out that distribution with Amazon is limited. And the reason for that's because we have authors all over the world. We don't limit ourselves to North America. Okay. We literally limit ourselves to nothing. Everyone is welcome, but we have limited seats. So we can't have everyone in the world. We have only max out at 40. That's it.
Right.
Okay. Because it costs a lot of money when we have to distribute it somewhere else. So let's be honest here, okay? And what's happening? Distribution channels with Amazon is limited to less than 15, maybe 10 countries. Then I found out from my friend in Japan that even though Amazon is in Japan, They can't distribute the physical book because there's certain rules and regulations that the Japanese government have that doesn't allow sometimes books from Amazon. I went to a very high end place in San Diego. Okay. And they are snobs in there and they're like, where's your book? Amazon. Oh, no, we don't put books in here for Amazon because they're the reason why blah, 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 blah. So they do not like a self publisher, any publishing in Amazon in certain situations. So then I see what their point is. But remember what the goal is of writing. The goal of writing an anthology, and you can be with us, you could be somebody else, it doesn't matter. The goal of the anthology is to put your name as an authority within the realm of what you're writing.
Yep.
As an authority, you want your information and messages, okay, to disseminate to as many people as possible. Now, if your distribution channels is limited to 10 countries instead of 40,000, which one would you pick? I mean, hello? Right? So here's the problem with that. Just because we have the access doesn't mean it doesn't cost more money. This anthology that I have is my, how do I say that? My project? Like, it's not even, it's, I'm breaking things. Okay. That's how I do it. You can ask Susanna. I test all the time, break the darn thing in the system, and then put it apart again to put it together because I like customization. I liked everything customized for my needs. Not everybody needs what I'm going to give. Not everybody needs what I have. But if I know what your needs are, then I can customize it for you. But you can't customize anything if you don't know how to do it. So I break systems all the time. And so I'm breaking this system. And our distribution is going to be in 40,000 bookstores out there and possibly put in little mom and pop shop books. I actually have a physical store right now with our physical book in there and just kind of trying to test it. But we're going to hopefully, crossing my fingers, by June 15th, we'll have the Barnes & Noble's book signing. My sister over here from Oregon coming to San Diego. Whoa! And our Sacktown sister is going to come hopefully, and some of our Texas sisters. And who else? Who else is coming?
Colorado.
Oh, Dr. Michelle. Yes, she's going to come. And Shanda, I think Shanda might be coming. She said I'm flying, so maybe she will. Harsha's already here. Jacqueline's already here. And so hopefully we can do that. Now, how many anthologies have you been that's going to go on 40,000 distribution channels and have a book signing as a group? Type it in. Say yes for me if you have been. No? Yeah, no. Because we're breaking it and customizing it. That's where the distribution is. If you want your messages out there, this is the best way. Now, let's talk about marketing, sister.
Yeah, because we have that question in there. And this is where it gets fun, because when we do the marketing, we've got the memes, we've got the graphics, but the beauty of an anthology is you have a larger team. This is not like a single book where you're putting it out there and you're hoping that people will share it and people will see it. Here's a chance that you've got all these authors working for the same thing, and they're plugging away at, hey, this book's coming out, and we have a system in place for how we put our books, how we market to maximize the effect. And I'll let you do that.
Can I share the screen? Okay, so here's the thing. If you guys don't know who I am, you should get to know me. Okay, so yes, I do have ADHD, so bear with me. Okay, I jump from one conversation to the other, whatever comes up in my mind. I have a TV show Thursdays and Sunday, and it's on Roku, Amazon Fire. We just went LG and Samsung. It is also on YouTube. I have about almost 60,000 subscribers in YouTube. I just hit Instagram 12,000 and 6,000 on TikTok. Facebook, oh man, I gotta get on with my Facebook. I am like, I wanna, but I don't wanna, but I'm gonna do it. My page is Can I say suck? Yeah, it does kind of suck because I'm not really paying attention to it. But the marketing itself is through my TV, my radio, my MP3. Where can you find an anthology that you do not have to pay? Here's my thing. I have clients that I have to put into the TV show and they pay a la carte. That's
Yep.
$150 per 45 minutes that you would pay me. But
Mhm.
in this anthology, you get it for free. Then, okay, I can put you in 90 plus nations and countries on distribution channels like Spotify, Apple, Deezer. I'm also a top 10% podcasters out of 3 million in the world in 6 continents. Radio show is the Block 105. It's a hip hop and R&B, and it is every other Saturday. I can also put you there if I want to. I can. That's my thing, right? And then we also have Audible apparently added to that. Okay. Then you're also on my websites and also the website of other people that's attached to me. And you're like, why do I care to be on your website? Okay. As of today, over 300, I'm overwhelmed right now. Over 300 news press releases all over the world, right? That put on this anthology and this book. So whoever's the name of the people in this book, when they click on the link, guess who's going to be seen? Not just me. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the book. And
Mhm.
because your name is attached to this book in 300 news press releases, including AP News, we just hit Google News today. Hello? Because of this anthology, we just hit Business Insider, AP News. Like, I can't even breathe. I'm so excited. But that's what we do when we talk about marketing and amplifying your message. Do you need to do anything? No, you show up, smile, and let's go, right? That is the anthology differentiator for us because I have a PR agency that I work with, right? And then I also have Level Up Magazine coming up in June. Then if you wanted to just on your own to do a publicity, you get a discounted price on that being in our anthology as well. I love giving back to my community. This book, when it comes out physical, every purchase that you will have, a portion of it, not 100% of it. So I got to go pay bills over what I just did right now. A portion of it, though, goes to our Evertreen project, meaning you're helping farmers get jobs and plant a tree. Right now, we have one certificate that I have achieved for Crystal. Congratulations, sister. She
Yep.
has an Evertreen tree now planted in Africa, and she has a certified in that. And we're hitting five United Nations goals out of
Right.
15 by purchasing this book alone.
And that was the last anthology, the one that's right behind you.
That's right. That's right.
And we're putting together things for the next one, for those goals, because everybody all the authors are involved with marketing in that they're helping spread the word on whatever social media platforms they're on. Because like you said, we're not everywhere when it comes to the social media because it's kind of hard to. But when you've got a group of people, yes. And then you've got all that media. I mean, that's why you're the media queen, the media publicity maven, I like to say too. But you're the publicity queen. You are everywhere now. And you are not the type who um, just goes, you level everybody up with you. And that's what it comes. That's why this book is part of Level Up as well. So we keep talking this book, and it's like, well, we're talking two different books, but we're really it's the same book because at the same time, while Beyond Boundaries came out first, in many ways, Moving Beyond Boxes is kind of like a prequel to Thriving Beyond Boundaries.
It is. And I love leveling up everybody. The reason that I love leveling up everybody, it's because I truly believe in the spirit of collaboration over competition. And
Yep.
people sometimes it's like, CJ, you're not real, you're fake, you're probably just using blah, blah, blah. Guys, I stopped shopping for luxury items to put my money, okay, on software and book publishing. Let's not go there. My husband even like, you haven't bought a purse. I'm like, don't talk to me. Just don't. Because yeah, I work hard, but here's the thing. The reason I feel like I'm doing so much and all at once, it's because, you know, people reflect on it. Really, things change when I had cancer. When someone tells you, you're going to die if you don't do this thing, everything else doesn't matter anymore. Right? If literally that's why when I asked my question, if this is your last day, what would be a legacy that you would talk to your family? What would be one lasting parting words? Because most of the time when someone dies of whatever illness that they have no words to part with because they're probably doing it on their bedroom while they're asleep, or they're, you know, like my grandmother. I didn't know what her parting words is, and I still feel guilty to this day because she's the one who raised me. But like literally, when someone tells you, "Hey, TikTok, you could die in 8 months," someone told me that when I had ovarian cancer. I went on depression and it shut down, right? And that took a long time. And with ADHD, yes, you have doubting, you have depression, you have anxiety, you have a lot of issues. But instead of focusing on the issue, focus on what is good and what is happening good for your life.
Right.
If you focus on the negative, it's never going to happen for you, right? And if you don't believe in yourself, no one will. And if people call you, oh, you're self centered, arrogant, what else? Conceited. Okay. So what? Am I asking you for money to be self centered here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking you for anything. In fact, I'm asking you to put a mirror in your face and said, are you happy? Are you where you need to be or you want to be? Are you living for you or are you living for others? When you're a mom, I have 2 kids. When you're a mom, you're literally living for your kids. And every time you do something that they're like, oh my God, you used to do this for me. And now I have a little guilt still, like, oh, maybe I should quit what I'm doing because Bella wants to do this and I can't because of this. And that guilt comes in. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, but what if I die tomorrow? What am I giving my kids back as a legacy? What am I giving my community back as a legacy? Right? Forget everything else, all this noise and marketing and all that, right? Forget that. Think about your own journey. Are you happy? Are you satisfied with your life right now? Is that something you want to live if you die in 5 minutes? Did you actually establish yourself and said, I'm good. I give back to my community perfectly. What we're doing, what Susanna and I are doing, is giving back to our community, right?
Mhm.
And the best way we know how. But the difference is we're doing it because we love doing it. We're not doing it because we like to be in the limelight. I'm in the limelight with all of these people is because here's what I always ask. When someone says, CJ, I want to help you with your YouTube and social media. Perfect. I need help. And then I look at your YouTube and social media, you got 0 following. Do you think I have any ounce of like, wow, he could help me? No. Right? So when you're asking someone, hey, do you want to be in my business, blah, 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 reflect first. Do you have proof? Unfortunately, we live in a society where proof is everything. People like to talk, but where's your action to back it up? No, nothing? Yeah, no, drop pen? Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Always back up your words with your actions, right? I would die first before I don't back up my words with my actions. Although some of my words are crazy, like making a movie out of an anthology, you know, I'm just manifesting. It's just out there.
There's nothing wrong with the manifesting because we've seen an awful lot of things happen.
Ooh, I like that. You definitely can't help others or fulfill your purpose if you're burnout because you didn't take care of yourself. One thing about our circle that you guys want to know is that we bounce ideas and we have no judgment zone. Meaning like, hey,
Yeah.
CJ, I literally like I'm falling apart because of this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, call me. And then we just kind of talk. Susanna and Danielle are my sounding board and I have people like Dr. New. Sometimes I'm like, sister, I need you to meditate right now. And she's like, why? I'm like, whatever you're doing, I don't care if you have kids, just meditate with me because I need help right now. That's our circle. We don't do judgment thing because we know that we're falling apart on some aspects of our life. It's never going to be perfect. And we agree to disagree, that just move on and then capture what we need help on. Focus on the solution, not the problem, because we got tons of problems. We're not going to focus on the problem right now. We're going to focus on the solution, one problem at a time, right? That's really what we want for our community, is acceptance and really thinking about, okay, how can we solve this? We have so many issues just in United States alone, but we can't solve them by talking about them. We got to do something about them.
I'm actually enjoying the comments as well as everything we've gone through, because
I'm gonna share something. Maybe I can. Wait, hold on. Can I?
try it.
Hold on.
I can never remember.
No. I'm going to see. Blah 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 blah. Oh, of course. I was gonna share something, but I'm actually applying for having my own newsroom. That could be dangerous if they say yes. I don't know if people are gonna approve me, but I'm applying to have my own newsroom. And you're like, CJ, what does that mean? That means I'm literally gonna be everywhere. Not just here, but like I can help more people. Okay, more people. So this is the book publishing industry. In this book, this anthology, there is a possibility whoever goes into this new anthology with Susanna and I, you could also be in 300 different outlets with your name. But let's see. Let's see if I can do the. Can you see something? Oh, you have to put it in. Like share the thing.
There we go.
There it is. Okay, you see that top says book publishing industry today. Look that picture. Guys, I have black hair. This is just my persona today. I'm just saying, right? But I have black hair. Okay, that's my natural hair. Anyhow, this one is in book publishing industry today. And this is my sister. This is our moving beyond box right now, right? Now imagine if you were already in this anthology and let's say we're already done, meaning we have finished the book, we're out there. Then I will get another press release and put us in there. Us means your names, because when they click on the book, your names will be there. And we haven't decided yet if we're gonna put our book, again, because it costs a lot of extra money, to put your book in the 40,000 distribution channels, or are you guys gonna be good just having just the Amazon, right? Depending on who the writers are. Because for me, we have writers in, Spain, or no, Belgium. He was in Spain, Ollie. And then we have brother Ulu, and we have brother, Australia, he could get a book, no problem. Brother Timothy was in Australia. We have people all over the world, right? It's a global community that we have to write in our book, in our anthology. And that's why I was like, well, we need more distribution channels. But if we have mostly North American, we might just stay in Amazon. Really depends. If you guys say, hey, Susanna, I want to maybe visit, having our book in other distribution channels like Powell's or Barnes and Nobles, we can decide that as a group, because it does cost a lot of money to put the distribution channel. The reason that I haven't asked these authors is because I'm breaking my own rule. I'm putting my own money where my mouth is, and to see, because it's part of my business. It's part of my business to amplify your message. That's my business, right? So I want to make sure I can help amplify your message by starting with me. Because if it breaks and if anything happens, it's me. I'm fine with it. But if I break yours and you're like, oh my God, CJ, what did you do? I'm like, right? So if I break my own system and then I figured out, okay, this is actually working, the next time I know that it's going to work for you. I always test my own self. If I don't approve it, why would I approve yours? It wouldn't work anyway, right? So I test it on me first. And that's why you're going to see on my face on everything, because I'm testing myself. I can't ask you to be like, I'm your publicity queen, but I've never been publicized. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work for me. And I'm like, nah, I don't believe you, CJ. Sorry. Next, right? So when I say publicity queen, I mean publicity. Now it's like almost 500 news places I can put you in. Used to be only 100, now 500 places. And maybe tomorrow I'll tell you about it in the TV show. I might be running a special to be in like 200 distribution channels tomorrow for press release. Press release is not the same as just writing you in the magazine. They're totally different. But if you want to know, if you have a project coming up, you let me know. Now, in terms of Anthology Sister, how would you describe our process? Once they come in, we need payment before May 1st or on May 1st. And then what's next?
So payments by May 1st, and that's either the full payment or the to hold the place, basically the deposit. Then we will have a meeting with everybody. We'll have a Zoom call, get a chance to know each other, and we'll talk through some writing basics, what it's going to be like in this anthology, what the schedule is, get everybody on track. Then I think we had, let's see, the 17th. So we're basically 2 weeks to write after that meeting, to write the chapters. But let's face it, once you start, you can start writing the chapter anytime. You don't have to wait until a certain date. You just have to have it written by the 17th. That gives us a few days to edit, get it back to people. And then we have this magical little get together about a week later where we'll be sharing each other's chapters. So we'll split everybody up into most likely groups of 2. And during that call, during that Zoom chat, breakout rooms, it's a chance to be with one of the other authors and read each other's chapter to each other. So you get an idea as to what it sounds like. You get some feedback. This is all to help in terms of putting together the final draft. Now, what was really interesting in the last book, how many of those authors, after we had the group get together, they were getting together in groups of 2, 3, 5, and having similar get-togethers, reading, exchanging ideas, thoughts, because that's what this is. This is a chance to get some advice from everybody. Now, always remember, just because somebody says do this does not mean you have to do this. What it is a chance to see what other people think and for you to make that final decision of what you want. Once we get the final chapters, we'll do a read through, primarily looking for grammar, readability, and then we put it together and we set up the launch. And by early June, it will be on Kindle.
That's right. I wanted to address Lynn's comment. I'm fine with only Amazon because most people buy their books online. Also, when you put your books in stores and you don't sell them, you have to buy them back from the bookstore. So in my opinion, the bookstores aren't worth it. What you don't know with this system that we have, yes, it's a lot of money that I pay, but we don't have to worry about that.
Nope.
Of the buyback, because the people that we are doing, they are also the publishing printing press, and they actually take the books back, and that stores like Barnes and Nobles are more likely to actually do it with them. It's because they can send the book directly back to the publishing company. So just an FYI on that. That might work for most people, but based on our research, they do the buyback for us. So I just wanted to address that.
Exactly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's why That's why we do our homework. Break it, put it back together. We got some other options we're looking at as well. So, because we're always looking for new ways to do it and to find new ways to do it better.
Yep. We try to circumvent the system in the right way, but never disregard the quality of the work and the quality of the steps. If you don't know me, especially if I pay you, I get very demanding. Yeah, I do. But I always want excellence, right? Whether you're free, whether you get a giveaway from us and you're free and you don't have to pay, or whether you pay, we treat you the same. We treat you the same with the same respect, the same editing, the same etiquette, right? It doesn't matter because we look at it as a project. And really what we want that's also wanting to let you know is that part of your anthology is your business presence, right? When you're thinking about it, think about not just your personal, but think about why you're writing this chapter particularly. Moving beyond boxes is more likely it's because you are in a business right now that you're currently have or thinking of doing, and you're the authority. So this book, literally, you could use as an authority, but also think about we're gonna give you 150 words. Yes, yes, 150 words. Okay, your short bio and
Yep.
another 150 words of dedication, meaning there are people in your life. I'm sure there's a lot, but pick one or two people in your life that made a difference in your journey of self discovery to put you are where you're at today and dedicate 150 words for them. Whether you add pictures or not, it's up to you. But we put it out there for you because we believe in a community. There's no way you could do it alone, and really be
No.
successful. There's always somebody behind you helping push, right? And so we want to give that person or people that space that you're thankful and grateful. And believe me, gratefulness goes a long way from your heart to your mind and to your community.
Well, and that's quite frankly, we're grateful to each author who takes the time to put a piece of themselves in the book, because that's really what it is. Every chapter is a piece of each author. But then when we put this together, and this is something else that's a little bit different, it's not just a book of stories. It's a book that is a story of stories. We think about what the order is, how each of those stories, when we put them together, creates an even bigger story within the anthology. I like to say it's like the individual souls of the chapters combined creates the soul of the book. And sometimes it's hard to tell which soul is bigger, the combined souls to make the book or the individual souls, because they're just so unique, each one of them. You're muted.
Of course I am, because they're snoring. I love that even though the journey seems like yes, it's your chapter and it's your story, in the end it's like sewn together to make it make sense. That's another thing that we do at Anthology. Most Anthology will be like, hey, it's alphabetical order from last name, or hey, we'll just randomly put it together, right? For our Anthology, we look at the title of your book and the content of your chapter and look at it how it would go with each other's stories. Another thing is we don't keep your copyright. You can keep your copyright. That's another thing that we would want to make sure that you know, right? We believe that you have your intellectual property, you can keep it. After the anthology, you can definitely certainly extrapolate it and keep it. And then go from there. But this book, the anthology, this one right here, we hit like I don't know how within 5 or 6 hours, we were like 5 countries and #1 international bestseller. We don't ever tell you, oh, we're gonna promise you you're gonna be bestseller. We
No,
don't do that. because it really depends on the market. It depends on who is helping us market within the authors, because it really depends on yours following. But also, we want to make sure that there's no expectation of like, we're gonna do this and promise anything. I'm not big on promises like that, because that's fluid. I can only promise you that we're gonna do an excellent job of creating a good project with a
Right.
great outcome, right? That's what we can promise, because we're our ethical standards and our moral beliefs when it comes to helping our community is literally beyond standard. But things that are fluid, that we can't control external forces, we're not going to promise those to you.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't make sense to, because you, just like you said, you're not guaranteed to wake up in the morning. These
Nope.
aren't guarantees. I know
Nope.
there's people out there that will say it, and maybe they do. I also know they cost an awful lot of money to do it, so I don't know what their secret sauce is, but it's not cheap. With us, it really is. I think part of it really is how we've put the books together that really help to make that difference as well. To create a book that really does have a soul of its own, that becomes a blueprint for others. And that's how we've basically looked at each of these anthologies that we've published. It is a blueprint. It's, in many ways, it's being written for somebody out there who is where each of these authors has been, and they're stuck. They're stuck in a box. They're stuck in a label. They're stuck in their comfort zone. They want to move, but they don't think it's possible. They need this. They need this story. They need your stories that say, "I know what it was like to be stuck. I moved forward, and you can too." So that each reader can identify with and go, "I'm not alone." And that's kind of how an anthology is anyway. With all the different authors, the authors aren't alone. The readers aren't alone either.
Nope. And I just posted on my YouTube, it says, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Okay. So just be yourself. Um, that's so true. We like to wish upon a star. Oh, I wish I was this and I wish I was that. You don't really know what the real life looks like. I honestly could not survive if I have Danielle's life right now. Or yours, right? We don't know what's in. You don't definitely don't want my life. I'm gonna tell you that right now. No, it's just craziness in my head at all times, and I'm trying to keep it at bay. I have managed, which I will share for the people who have ADHD out there. I have managed it to a point where I could be productive citizen.
Mhm.
Or helping my community. But if you wonder, how the heck does she do this, this, and this? Yeah, that's my superpower. That's my ADHD working. But you don't want that brain. It is so exhausting, guys. It's so exhausting. And I think my parents knew maybe that when I grew up, I would have ADHD because they named me for a different person. So you could get a Constance one day, you could get a Jeffer one day, and James the other day. That's my name too, all right? Like Jiping. I have other Chinese name too. So you could get those person come out, and you're like, I'm sorry, can I talk to CJ back again? Like, go away for now. Personality, where are you? It's kind of crazy, and the people who I'm around with, literally, I'm so touched, like my sister Susanna, because they accepted me and my nonsense, like for real. It's hard to keep up with me, let alone other people trying to keep up with me. So thank you, sister.
It's it goes both ways, because it's like, now I'm in the same boat. I mean, I've always been in the same boat, but it's more official now. So it's, but I wouldn't be able to. This is what we need each other for. It's just like the book, to have that person who you can be your authentic self around, and then they see something, they notice something, they can tell you, and it just helps to ignite your awareness. Sometimes you hear it and it's like, okay, yeah, I know, I kind of see, but then sometimes that awareness just gets ignited when they say, I think, and you start thinking about it, and suddenly, boom, okay, let's find out. Let's see for certain. And that's how this has been. Or even like with Danielle, she called me this morning, and it's like, I just need something as a distraction. And I knew I could count on you, because I don't remember what I said. It's like Barb's Bar and Grill or something. When she called, it was exactly what she needed for to help turn the day around a little bit. That's what we do with each other.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm on a quote crazy right now.
Oh,
um just in my head, I'm like, "Ooh, these are good quotes." Strength does not come from physical capacity; it comes from an immeasurable will. That's Muhammad Gandhi, right? I love Abe Lincoln. Whatever you are, be a good one. April, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have team replay as well. We love having people join the conversation, get to know us a little bit more. I know there's some people that you probably have encountered on LinkedIn that are cray. We have too. I almost quit LinkedIn literally like May of last year, something like that. May or June of last year. I almost quit LinkedIn. I was like so discouraged, like
I remember.
but the way I look at it is I wouldn't have met in person. So dear sister Susana, we met in person in San Diego airport. She picked me up and then we went to a pod fest.
Oh,
uh,
I like it that way. I picked you up.
yeah, she picked me up and then we just flew to go to Podfest in
Well, after
Florida.
doing your live show from the gate, it's like
The
I show
music
up.
was all on the whole time. Oh my gosh. I know that most people would not do what I did, like on the airport, because they feel like, oh my God, it's so bother. What does she think she is? Blah, blah, blah. People say that. I really do not care. I was like, I really don't care for your opinion. It doesn't really matter. I got people waiting and I got to do it. It's not for you, it's for them. Yeah.
And remember too, we had that mother and her two daughters that just kept watching us over and over. And when we were done, because it's like you said, you could be thinking that there's going to be some sort of judgment coming, and negative judgment. And when we're done and you're starting to pack stuff up, she's like, "We loved what you did. It was great. My daughter's thinking about podcasting and all this stuff. It was a great experience."
Yeah. Right. And then we went to the mall. I drag her to go shopping.
You didn't
Yeah.
have to drag me. It's like you're driving anyway, but
Oh my gosh. We're like, let's go to Gucci. Let's go to DKNY. Let's go to Guess. Because Miss Lululemon went twice and she's not even here on this conversation.
no, she's not. She was on the plane, but she wasn't in the conversation.
She was like, oh my gosh, Lululemon. I'm like, okay. Then we come back, Lululemon. I'm like, okay, bye. We're going to go this way. We're going to do some stuff. That was fun. Um,
It was a blast.
Yeah, we got to do it again. We got to do it again because
So,
meeting people in person is so amazing. Like I wish I could have so much money, guys, that I could fly all of you in San Diego. There's so much to see here and so much to do. And like literally just spend a day doing meditation, eating, going on a boat, sun tanning, going fishing on we have a cabin. I don't think we all fit in there, but somewhere near the ski resort, like just enjoying life. Like I just would love at least 10 people with me and just do that. Or maybe when we are a little older, when my kids are a little bit older, we could go to Europe and do some like what do you call that? Like what do you
Just
call that?
take the train around and
No, but there's my cousin does it all the time. They went to France and something. What is it called?
I'm not sure.
It's like a group of people go in like a oh man, I can't think of it, but they literally have a group of people go in and it was cheaper to travel that way. And I think, in my opinion, it's also safer to
Right.
travel in groups, right? And just do something. Like one year we could travel to just do Asia. I would love to show you guys Philippines and the white sand beaches. And I didn't even know part of one of the island of the Philippines costs $100,000 a night. I'm like, 100,000? Do you know how many poor people in the Philippines? What are you talking about? And I looked at it. It's a separate island, and in order for you to go to that island, you have to have a helicopter ride after your plane ride. I'm like, okay, fancy smancy. Didn't know it existed, but okay, we're gonna go on a boat, Susanna. We're gonna travel with a boat. Let's row.
Yeah,
um,
there we go.
right? It's gonna be fun. It's just those traveling things, and don't take your lives so seriously. If you're going through doubts right now, it's okay. It's okay to have doubts. But
Mhm.
now you got to reflect on, would I want to impart a message for the world to know that I think could really help them, right? Sometimes you think your life is so ordinary and boring, right? But when you actually write it and then somebody else's read it, you're like, whoa, what? You did this? Because I had somebody told me, yeah, I just have 2 heart attacks and triple bypass, and that was really awful. I'm like, wait, stop for a moment. You did what? Right? And so really be grateful for your life. Be grateful for the people that you're going to meet, and be grateful even for the people who wish you ill will. Just be grateful, because that's still lesson learned that you can take, right? Uh, to avoid in the future. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and we've
End it,
well,
sister.
as usual, we've gone over. I swear, I don't know if I've ever been under time with this. At least it's not your TV show, so which is like time sensitive. But
Yeah.
it's been great. I mean, look at the amazing people that we've had here, and I can't wait to see who ends up in team replay. And this anthology is really going to be a lot of fun. It's so much that we try to make sure is there for everybody. But the stories, I know there are some amazing stories. And here's the other thing, never worry about trying to pick a story. You've got a story, it will fit. Quite frankly, a lot of people will discount, like, oh no, that story's not worth. Actually, it's worth. Write it, put it together. And hey, if you do like with if you do a dozen anthologies with us, by the time you're done, depending on how you approach it all, you've got enough to create your own book. And then just compile those chapters together, add a little bit of in between chapters just to bridge things, publish your own book, because that's really what we want. We talk about the anthology is there for those in the future. That's what a book is. When you write your story, it's putting it there for those who are going to come after in the future. So it's great having everybody here. Loved having everybody here. Do you have any parting words or any parting Cheerio snores or
That's why I'm on mute, because it's actually not Cheerio. It's Duke who's snoring like a storm right now. My parting message is, have the courage to step in on what you're meant to be. If you are thinking of even writing, you're meant to do it. You just need the
yep,
courage to push you, right? If what we're talking about today even just slightly get you excited, just slightly, just have the courage to step in, right? Because we got you. When I say we got you, it's not our first rodeo. We really do get you.
Yep.
And you can ask all of these people, actually. You can ask them and DM them separately on what they think about, the book itself and the experience. We've asked them in obviously in person like this and through live sessions, but you can also ask them privately, right? We welcome you to ask them about their experience, because it's one thing when we say it because we're doing it as a project. It's another if it's them who is actually part of the group and the anthology. And some of these people, we've been in anthology for a while. Like Willie J, we've had three
One.
anthologies. Rattled Awake, A Note to Legacy, and this one. So that
And
that is what Russ is the same three. Dr. New is three. Who else do we have three? That's pretty much it, right?
I think that's it.
Yeah. And then the rest are either brand new or they have their own book, or this is a couple of their anthologies different. But I know for sure that our anthology is different, not just the way we do it, but because of the built in marketing and PR that we have already, because that's what I do. And
Well,
we just happen to be lucky that my dear sister over here, oh, I'm pointing the right one. Yay. My dear sister over here is amazing. And she's so like, not telling everybody, but she is like an asthma award writer. I'm just saying.
oh, you mean that little ribbon right
Yes,
there?
a ribbon, right? Like, hello, And she has a couple of solo books on her belt as well. And I usually do academic publishing. It took me a hot minute not to do academic writing because I do a lot of academic writing. But writing with my own story was like, pulling teeth. Like, you mean I can't do APA on this one? Wait, I don't have citations needed. What is happening here? It took me a while there, but I think I got the gist now after 4 anthologies, right?
I remember that first one with you. It was what, 1,500 words, and you came in with no wait, because you and I, that first one was a 3,000 word one, and you came in with 4,000 to start, and had to, or five even, and had to whittle
5.
down.
It was like 5,800, and Lonnie's like, no, cut it in half. Like, that's not gonna happen. I'm like, oh, okay. And that was in 2 hours, and I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted because we were constrained on time, and I'm like, I can write. What do you mean? So I wrote, and then I'm like, oh, I think it's too much. Now we gotta edit it and lower it, and it's okay. It's okay. We're very flexible, and we want to make sure that you guys are comfortable and happy at the end of the day, happy with your end result, right? And
Exactly.
because the message that you put out there is the message permanently be out there. So yes.
Absolutely. And Leslie came in at the last minute, so it's like,
Like
awesome.
references and footnotes be gone. No kidding. Right? Like seriously, I'm like, oh, and I tell my students, please don't use Wikipedia, Upedia,
No,
whatever pedias in those. I'm allergic to pedias. I can't do it, right? But I did academic publishing and I love doing academic publishing. I have a publisher, a different publisher in Germany that does it for me. And we can put it in 6 different languages. It's on Amazon, my other book as well. But I like doing journals. I'm writing my memoir, but it's so painful. So that might be 20 years from now. It will be done. I don't know. But I love anthologies and I love working in project with my dear sister Susanna because she's amazing in every possible way.
that's what I say about you. It's like I can't imagine doing any of this without you. It's been so much fun, and there's so much more to go.
Yeah. And I try to keep up with her blondness. This is hence the blonde that I'm putting in. Listen, I've been a blonde for like 16 years until I start losing my hair. And I was like, oh, we got to stop coloring our hair, CJ. 2, 3 years ago, I did a makeup a Little Mermaid. And I wanted my natural hair color to be red hair as Mermaid Ariel. That really messed me up because I did it. I was like, man, I should have just worn a wig. Why did I do that to myself? So now I'm smarter, guys. I just wear wig whenever I want to be blonde.
There you go. Well, I guess maybe at some point it'll be my turn to try and see what it's like to have dark
Black hair. Bye,
hair.
everybody.
Bye. Thank you for coming.